Let's be real. We've all been there. You're staring at that mountain of clothes, and it just feels impossible. It's the one chore that never, ever seems to end. But what if I told you there's a simple way to get a handle on it for good? Well, in this explainer, we are going to break it all down.
I know, it sounds so basic. But laundry can get overwhelming, right? It's this weird mix of mystery detergents, strange symbols on your clothes, and machine settings you're pretty sure you're not supposed to touch. Today, though, we're turning that dreaded chore into a total win. It's time to take back your laundry room.
You see, the whole process is really just a simple three-step journey. First up is sorting. And honestly, this is the most crucial part, the one everyone skips, but it's key to making your clothes last. Then you've got the washing, where all the magic happens. And finally, drying, the home stretch to perfectly fresh clothes. Seems simple enough, right? So let's dive into the most important part, sorting your... Wait a minute. Hold on.
That can't be right. I was literally just about to get into the whole lights versus darks debate, but I've just spotted this line in our research. And it's a direct quote from our source material. It says, and I'm reading this verbatim, "The provided sources do not contain any transcripts or advice about doing laundry." Well, that's a problem.
Right. So, now what? I promised you an explainer on how to do your laundry. You came here ready for tips on clean clothes? But here's the thing. We have one single, unbreakable rule. Everything, and I mean everything, we present has to come directly from the source material we're given. And it looks like, on this topic, our sources have absolutely nothing to say.
Okay, so our laundry explainer has officially gone into a spin cycle of its own and, crashed. But you know what? This is actually a perfect chance to pull back the curtain and show you a little bit of how these things are made. Since laundry is a total bust, let's take a look at what our source material actually wanted to talk about. For starters, it looks like we could have done a whole explainer on how cooking is surprisingly simple. Apparently, the sources have a full-on guide to finding your way around the kitchen. So, I guess less laundry, more lasagna.
Or how about this one? A complete guide to waking up at 4:30 a.m. A roadmap to becoming one of those super early birds. I'm getting tired just thinking about it. But hey, all the information is right there in the sources.
Then there's this, which is just, wow, we could have done an entire explainer on how to get a personality. Nope, I am not making that up. The source material apparently has a step-by-step method for it. I have so many questions.
And finally, a classic, a guide to learning a new language. So, instead of talking about rinse cycles, we could have been deep diving into verb conjugations. So let's see, cooking, waking up at the crack of dawn, acquiring a personality, mastering a new language, but not one single word about folding a fitted sheet.
This whole situation is a perfect illustration of something we run into sometimes. We call it the explainer's dilemma. It's what happens when the question we want to answer and the information we actually have are from two totally different planets. It's pretty clear when you look at it like this, right? On one side, you have the simple, practical question we started with, and on the other, you have this completely random list of answers our sources gave us. Now, you're probably thinking, just go find some other sources, but if we did that, we'd be breaking the most important rule we have.
And that rule is what we call the explainer's core principle. And it's simple. We are bound by our sources. Every single fact, every idea, every concept you ever see in one of these explainers has to come directly from the source material provided for that topic. We don't invent things, we don't add stuff, and we definitely don't go hunting for the answer we wish was there. We explain what we're given. That's it.
So, yeah, we didn't learn how to get a coffee stain out of a white shirt today. But what we ended up with is maybe something a little more fundamental. This has accidentally turned into an explainer about how these explainers get made and why the process behind them actually matters.
So here's the real takeaway from this unexpected detour. The journey from a question to an answer. It's not always a straight line. All information has limits, and it's so important to know what they are and to be honest about them. And sometimes, understanding the process, why you can or can't find an answer, is just as important as the answer itself.
We started this whole thing looking for a simple how-to. Instead, we stumbled into a much more interesting story about where information comes from, what its limits are, and why being honest about that is so important. And it leaves us with this final, really crucial question to think about. What's more important, finding the answer you want, or understanding and working with the one you actually have?